There, welcome back to my channel, Best Practice Gaming. My name is Rob. First off, I want to apologize for last week. I didn't realize it was a holiday week, so I wasn't able to get any videos out on Wednesday, even though I made a little blog post about that. I spent the majority of this week setting up for the Imadra map here, which is just a monster map to set up for. It's not easy to get around this map. So I want to start with my first mission here. Hopefully I've got 3 missions set up here. I'm going to start with the floating change house. So let's have a look at that. I am an idiot. I left my cabin parked on the ice. Now the river's thawed and my cabin is sailing on the high seas. Can't work without it. Think you can help, eh? And you know what? I can help. Even though the quest is down here, I do have a vehicle set up for this quest over here. So we have to drive along the river and get it back over here to the ice camp. Additionally, the other quest I have going on hopefully will help me restore the garage in this region, which is right over here. All right, so let's start with that quest here. Took me a little while to get my entire fleet of trucks all up into this region here. Hopefully I can find, here it is, which truck has it. All right. And of course, this is like the city version of the Western Star, so it wasn't easy to get over here into this area. Let's go ahead and attach it here. And I've got to get all the way down over here. All right, let's get going. And you know, while I'm driving here, I'm going to talk about my week here because it wasn't easy. Go ahead and turn off diff lock. It wasn't easy setting up for this map. It took me almost a week to get my entire fleet up here on and off because of how hard it is to drive up here in game. So that took me a little while. But I managed it, so that's not a problem here. I personally looked into these floating or these ice modulated homes here. They're not trailers, so I'm calling them modulated homes. Cause, yeah, I was curious about them. They're like ice fishing homes, so I thought that was interesting. And then hopefully I set myself up in a way. Oh, there's another one right there. Hopefully, it's 2 of them. Wow. Hopefully I can set myself up in a way. Oh, it really damaged the vehicle there. What was my sentence? Okay, hopefully I can set myself up in a way here where I can turn the garage back on. And then I'll find out it as I go along here. So I gotta get myself up on the ice here. Let's see here. I want to go that way or that way? I want to go. I think I want to go this way. And this week was Thanksgiving holiday, and then it was Black Friday. So for those who do not live in the U.S., well, Black Friday is just a day where you have like really cheap deals on electronics and stuff like that. So I don't know if they have that in other countries, but that's a thing here in the U.S. Of course, I personally wasn't really buying anything. I was working throughout the entire week. Going as far up as Reedville to other parts of Virginia that I just names I can't even pronounce because they're country names. So that was really exciting. Oh, cool. Okay, it looks like a... Whoa. Hold on. We're gonna back up here. Uh, so when you see ice like that, that just means you're gonna fall through with the truck. And it's a full-size truck, so it'll fall through and it won't get around the ice very well. If I had a light to medium truck, I can make it work, but that's not the case, so I gotta look for another way around. And this is part of why this Imadra map is so tricky here. It's just hard to get around the map. There's huge mountains everywhere. There's places where you can fall through the ice. There's not very many roads in the map itself. Here we go. And hopefully this will work. And of course, throughout my setting up for the entire 3 maps, I didn't even get half of it prepared. I only got like the first half prepared. There's still an entire other half of the map to prepare for. So hopefully it won't take me an entire week to prepare for that, but I can't speak to that if that will not happen, if that makes sense. Like it might take me an entire week, and there just might not be an entire week worth of videos trying to get this map prepped for and taken care of. Here we go. Alright, so I went around all the broken ice field, which is right there. Wow, there's a lot of these. Are those contained? No, those are also ice buildings. Cool. That takes care of that quest. What's the next quest here? I want to do magnitude of 5. Here we go. We have an emergency. Earthquakes are common here, but the last one struck real hard. The road to the power station is blocked, and we've got nothing to clear it with. Even our last tractor is undergoing repair. Alright, I think I have a dairy longhorn waiting in the wings for this. Nope, that's not the right one. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to put up the headset here and focus on driving here. Even though this is a solid path here, it's still not easy to get through these paths. Alright, let's focus on the driving. Yeah, those set of rocks right there, they cause serious problems. Let's jump over to the Dairy Longhorn. Here we go. All right. I'll have to make a note here. I think I've said this. Make a note here to set up a pull truck through this area. There's a couple areas that really need that. This is one of them. All right. One of the rules that I use here in SnowRunner, I haven't really talked about very much. If a cargo is lost in any way, shape, or form, or it can't be recovered easily, I try to let it go. I know I didn't do that with the metal there, but usually when something is just too far beyond the breach, I try to let it go and just not even worry about it. And that happens a lot with cargo. It tips over, it falls, it twists over, so not really worried about it personally. All right, I'm on my way. I got past the difficult areas. I should have no problem getting over to the magnitude 5 area. All right, after a lot of trial and error, that clears up the road to the power station, which frees me up to get metal over to the power station.